Hey guys, before we get into today's show, I want to tell you about Shady Rays. If you're in need of some high quality sunglasses for this summer, make sure you head over to shadyrays.com. They next generation shades for 24/7 action. Use our promo code HATEFUL8 to get 25% off your purchase. All right, let's get into today's show.
Welcome Average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. Fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Fantasy football talk, Hateful Eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down, Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli, hold it down. Pulling up to LB Design Studio, we're getting loud. Season 2, headphones on, red light go, break it down.
Welcome back to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast with your host. I'm Pickle, and with me as always, Blackburn.
What's up?
And Trimboli.
What's up?
All right, this week we got some discussions going on for players that we are concerned about post-NFL or post-fantasy draft week, because last weekend was the National Fantasy Draft Week. So I'm sure there are some people who are still drafting this week and probably a coming weekend, so maybe you tune into this to kind of prepare for your draft. But overall, I think that this is the topic that we're going to be discussing are players that we may have been high on early in preseason. Now we may be like, oh, this is bad now.
Right.
So, as always, don't forget to follow the show's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. Now on to Fantasy News and Notes.
Fantasy News and Notes.
All right. Fantasy News and Notes presented by Body Armor Super Drink. Superior hydration for today's athlete. Check them out at drinkbodyarmor.com or your local convenience store. First one out there was some big signings apparently. Lots of money being
People
flown
got
around.
paid.
Show me the money weekend.
Everybody was getting paid. Giants signed wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. to a 5-year, $95 million extension, and he is no longer a distraction for that team
Yeah.
or himself.
Right. I mean, what are they going to talk about now? The New York media.
Sam Darnold.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying that's about it now.
That is true.
Or
though.
Saquon's hamstrings. Either or. But I think it's a good move for the Giants and Odell. I think they finally came to an understanding and to agreement, obviously, that what Odell's worth was to him and what the Giants felt like he was worth to that organization. And I think Odell came out on top with the money situation.
I mean, it looks like a lot for the cap, but if you look at it, it's a 5-year extension. So when this extension's up, that'll be the time Saquon Barkley's up for his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So you got your star running back, star receiver offsetting the cap. That's great.
Right.
Absolutely.
I like it.
You think Julio's mad now? You know, he just restructured and now this comes out.
Well, we knew
again.
we knew OBJ was going to get paid.
Yeah,
Sure.
It was just a matter of time. Now, Julio, I think, now has another benchmark to look at and say, okay, well, Antonio Brown got this. OBJ got this. Now I know what I want. Now, I think that Julio will do the gentleman's agreement and play through the season on the contract that he's got. But I will tell you, at the end of this season into next season, he'll be
Especially
saying,
if he
give me some
blows it
money.
up. Yeah.
Right.
So, another big contract. Packers signed quarterback Aaron Rodgers to a NFL record 4-year, I said $134 million extension. Holy cow. I can't even imagine that kind of money.
The signing bonus was $54 million.
Ridiculous.
I think they said he's going to make like $65 million by
It'll
October.
be $80 million by March. It's $80 million from now until March.
I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve this because the guy is the best quarterback out there, and he is the one that drives that offense. But that's crazy.
He's getting paid like $200,000 just to tie his shoes. That's amazing.
I forget what it said. Yeah, it was like every 24 hours during the season, he gets like 400 or something. Like it was some stupid number.
He's going to start burning money because he can't spend it quick
Right.
now.
Now, I will tell you, prior to OBJ signing this deal, he was actually making more money on his endorsement deal than he was making money from the New York Giants.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So, and then another signing, the Seahawks signed wide receiver Tyler Lockett to a 3-year, $32 million extension. Now, I think this is a good move for them.
It's not bad. I mean,
you lock up your number 2 wide receiver and potentially your wide receiver of the future at this point because, let's be honest, Baldwin's probably not going to be playing a couple more, maybe a year or two more. And Brandon Marshall, who knows when he may just get kicked out. So, I mean, he's kind of on a...
I just think it's a lot to pay for a Lockett.
Well, to me, he's not like the solid number 1 wide receiver, and you paid him decent money.
Right.
I mean, but
I just wish there was
nothing
other
on
options, but there's not.
Nothing on Lockett. I mean, dude got paid to
Right.
be basically a go route guy. I mean, so
Well, I mean, it's like you said, Baldwin's not healthy. He even said he's not going to be 100% all year.
right, and
then you got Brandon Marshall.
who's I mean, he might be something worthwhile in the red zone, but that's about it. I can't see anything other than that. But I don't know. But I mean, these are some big number contracts. I mean, the $95 million extension and the 4 years, $134 million. That's just
He's making more than both those two players put together.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
all I can say is I hope for the Packers' sake and for the coach McCarthy, they win a Super Bowl in this next 4 years because you've locked up one of the best quarterbacks for the next 4 years, and I hope you do something with that.
They need a running back, a legit running back,
Well, they're going to have to get a rookie because they can't afford a veteran after this.
right? Unless they
True.
sign for vet minimum.
Right. So, some quick hits that we had today. Packers trade QB Brett Hundley to the Seahawks for the 2019 sixth-round pick. So that was
That's part of the deal. I sign this, he gets out of town.
right. So, but I think that it's a good thing for Brett Hundley because I think he has. I don't know. I mean, he may get a chance to play in Seattle if.
I mean, there's
Russell
nobody
wasn't
else
hurt.
there, yeah. And Packers had signed Deshaun Kaiser.
Right.
Right.
I think that they must think Kaiser is a better option behind Rodgers than Hundley was, but I don't know. They found their quarterback. They were looking for. They tried to get Teddy Bridgewater, but it didn't work out for the Seahawks, so they ended up getting Brett Hundley instead. Teddy Bridgewater did get traded though to the Saints for a 2019 third-round pick, and they gave up The Jets gave up Teddy Bridgewater and a 2019 sixth-round pick. So,
I mean, I got to applaud the Jets on this. They signed Teddy Bridgewater for $1 million.
yes,
Yep.
They flip him for a third-round pick. Bravo.
Yeah.
That's good.
that's
You
good
knew,
management.
you knew once they got Sam Darnold in the draft, he was going to be your starting quarterback.
Right.
Right.
And-
You just wanted Bridgewater to come in, look viable, and not get hurt.
Right.
And that's exactly what they did. This is awesome.
And they flipped him.
Now, I'm hearing a lot of. I was reading up on some Saints beat writers, and they're thinking that that they made the move to get Teddy Bridgewater because they feel like
This is it.
this is it. This is the new guy post Breeze,
I
which
heard
they're
that too.
thinking
This
Breeze
is
is
it.
on the way out.
This is Breeze's last year is what I heard too.
So if that's the case, I mean, if Teddy Bridgewater can be healthy and the offensive line is good, you got Kamara, you got Michael Thomas, you got young talent guys for Bridgewater in the future. It's not a bad deal for Bridgewater as long as he can stay healthy. I still can't figure out what happened with his on
Yeah,
that day.
I would love to know what really happened with that.
Like, is it like one of those like Area 51 like alien type things where it's
How
like,
does your whole knee just get destroyed and
I don't know, but they said it was like career ending.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
Potentially.
like they thought were at one point there was talks of it potentially being amputated because the way like the veins or whatever got like twisted within the ligaments and stuff. And I'm like,
non-contact. There's that's a cover-up. They kicked all the reporters and stuff out of the stadium when that happened too. Something happened.
it's questionable. It's like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So, Titans activate wide receiver Rashard Matthews off the PUP list. Found out he had some sort of surgery on. I think it was like this meniscus or something like that they've kind of held under wraps, quiet. So.
So it's just the off season or preseason of injuries, surgery.
Well, apparently he had it
wait till we
early
get to the
on.
Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
I know.
Brown-
I thought we were there now.
No, Browns activate wide receiver Josh Gordon, which is a good thing. But there's talks that he may not start week 1, but he'll play. Per
Which is dumb. I
Coach
don't-
Hugh Jackson. So
What? That is so dumb.
It's like a precedent he's trying to set,
Yeah,
but I don't
know.
get it either.
Yeah, it's stupid.
You-
You can't start, but you'll play on second down,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
Antonio Callaway.
When
you
we
got
run the
trouble,
ball first down,
you're going to play all
you're not in.
preseason.
That's so dumb.
So Doug Baldwin expects his knee to not be an issue or to be an issue this entire year. So there's a lot of talks where he's saying he's going to be about 85, 90% healthy.
Do you find it weird that he's talking about it himself?
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, why is he coming out and saying this?
I get if the team said it on his behalf, he'd maybe not be 100%, but he comes out and says, yeah, I'll be fine. But him saying I'm like 85% best, to me, that's weird.
I don't know. I mean, if it
concerning.
was any other person, I wouldn't. I guess I would be kind of more concerned. But the fact that Doug Baldwin's been a healthy guy for his career, and then now maybe he's just doing it to kind of reassure people, I'm okay. I'll be playing this year. I'm well enough to play out there. So
Well, he's kind of saying he's never been healthy.
right.
I wouldn't just tip my hat like that, though. If
Yeah.
I was the team, I'd be kind of upset with that.
Well, I'm just thinking long term, like what else? Your next contract.
Right.
If you're never healthy now and you're coming out and willingly saying it,
Right.
I don't know.
The Jets name QB Sam Darnold the starter. So week 1.
Boo. Drop all Jets players immediately.
Pick up the defense that's playing them.
Yes. Stream them.
So Sam Darnold's the starter.
Hey, the
You knew
future
it was
is
gonna
now
happen.
in New York.
It is.
Sam Darnold.
Man. Patriots wide receiver, or former Patriots wide receiver, Eric Decker retires after 8 seasons. He looked like he was struggling this whole preseason, so I think it was kind of like a Patriots was like, Bill probably pulled him in and was like, all right, Eric, you've sucked this whole preseason. We don't want to cut you because we don't want to be that guy because you've had a good career. However, I'm just going to tell you, man to man, you just need to go ahead and
He didn't
retire.
even talk that much. He was just probably like, Eric, you suck.
Go ahead
Yeah,
and retire.
exactly.
Go ahead and
3
retire.
words.
That's it.
Tom, what do you think?
Tom's over there with Giselle.
Getting a manicure, just
Former Dolphin. Jeez.
And Eric Decker's wife.
Yeah. She's up there. She's got her own show, don't she?
She's hot.
So I haven't seen the show. I just know they got their own show.
They do.
They're not like
Bravo.
she's
Bravo. That's all I gotta say.
She's like a social media model or
Hey, it
whatever.
doesn't matter. Bravo.
whatever. Former Dolphins tight end Julius Thomas retires after 6 seasons. He's going back to go get a PhD for some sort of like the brain studies or whatever, CT studies.
Wow.
So
Bravo.
I
for him.
mean, that's cool if you're going back. I mean, I think he made it a point to kind of like learn to go back and do some studying on stuff that potentially could be an effect in his later in his life.
Hey, whatever helps him develop, because he sure wasn't doing anything on the field
This is also true.
since Peyton Manning was her.
Yep, exactly.
So, all right, let's go ahead and get into this week's Hurt Locker. Tons of questionable injuries this week.
My shoulder doesn't hurt very much, but my face does. Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here.
Nope. Ship shape.
All right, Colts quarterback Andrew Luck has a, in quotes, minor foot injury. I read up on it. He got tackled and tweaked his ankle.
I'm not liking Andrew
Well, we'll
Luck
see him in
this
2
year.
more years from
Yeah,
now.
I'm not liking this Andrew Luck thing.
I'm just saying, you got Andrew Luck is dealing with the shoulder injury, which they've said he doesn't have a fastball.
Yeah,
he's not throwing anything, any type of over like 20 yards in preseason. So
I don't like it at all. It seems fishy.
I'm just saying, just so you know, they tackle people in the NFL. So if you're getting hurt on a simple tackle, I'm just waiting for the moment when they're like, "Hey, Andrew's done." And they
I mean, he's been going with this shoulder thing now for almost 3 years.
Yep.
And
This
now
is
there's
ridiculous.
ankles in it and that setbacks. He can't throw a football with the right velocity. I don't know, man. There's a reason why they didn't trade Brissett, remember?
Right.
For that second-round pick Seattle offered him.
True. I mean, Brissett is definitely worth less than a second-round pick. Not to be mean against him, but I'm just saying, if you were in any other quarterback was your starting quarterback, like of talent-wise, you'd have been like, signed, sealed, delivered, it's out.
You're going to give me a second-round pick?
Right.
I mean,
But-
Bridgewater's better, and they only got a third-rounder.
So, just saying. True. Browns quarterback Tyrod Taylor dislocated his pinky on his left hand.
Non-throwing hand.
Non-throwing hand, but still, it looked that wrist injury looked bad.
his wrist just looked like it just was like mangled.
But
That was nasty looking.
here's the thing: they brought him back in. Like they didn't just let Baker run the
Right,
offense.
that was the dumb thing. They
He was
brought
like-
him back to play.
You're good. Wrist is not shattered. Really, I really thought that on the big jumbotron. It looked like it. You know what? Go ahead and go back out.
Okay,
No.
before Hard Knocks came out this year, like we gave the Browns kudos for
Yeah.
what they've done the last 2 years. Since I've been watching, I am not impressed, and I think Hugh Jackson is dumb.
He is. I'm waiting for what is it? Who's the offensive coordinator? I just drew a blank.
Haley.
I think Haley's going to probably be your promoted interim head coach about
I'd rather-
halfway through the
well, that's-
season.
that's
I'd rather
what-
have Haley or Greg Williams
Because they don't
Either one of those are
see
better.
eye to eye. Him and
That's
Hugh.
the rumor with Haley anyways. He took the Cleveland job because potentially head coaching again.
Right.
So
I've just not been impressed with Hugh Jackson. I think he only does what he does for the cameras.
true.
But this, like, Josh Gordon will not start for us, but he will play. What does that say? That's dumb.
Says you got 1 win in 2 years.
Yeah.
This is true.
Peace.
Bye, Felicia. Jaguars wide receiver Marquise Lee season-ending knee injury.
That was
Now,
nasty.
Yeah, that was gross.
I say you and I watched that on the NFL Game Pass, and it was like, oh, like you knew as soon as he hit it, it was like that Willis McGahee hit. You just see the leg just go, and you're like, it's
that's
done.
sad too, because I thought he was going to have a decent year with them.
He was slated to be the number 1 wide receiver for them. So Vikings wide receiver Adam Thielen dealing with an ankle injury. Now he did walk off on his own, but it's just
He's still day to day.
it's still day to day. He's been kind of what do you want to call it? They're nursing the ankle injury. I think they're kind of hoping that it is done by season start. But I mean, ankle injuries are nothing to play around with. So I'm just saying it is what it is. So, and then finally, Giants tight end Evan Ingram still in the concussion protocol, and that's a concerning thing for me. Anytime a player goes into the concussion protocol, I'm
the
always
way they're handling concussions now.
they're like detailed, thorough, which is fine. I mean, that's what they're doing.
They need to be.
They need to be. I mean, not only to cover their own side, but also for the player side. Still,
especially with the tight end. I mean, you're getting tackled and you're blocking. They're blocking when they're not catching, so they're contact every play.
right, and they're running. They're the guys that are running the short routes across the middle routes. I mean, so they're guys that are going to probably be in some sort of potential, like, I don't want to say like intersecting like car crash type hit, but still. Evan Ingram being in a concussion protocol is not a good way to start the season.
No.
We talked about it off the show. He needs volume.
Right.
And if he's dealing with concussions throughout these games and not in, the volume's not going to be there. His value could really tank.
I think it's going to take a huge dip from what it was last year.
Yeah, I think he's all touchdown upside at this point. Not volume, I don't think is even a possibility. So we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and get into those questions for you guys, the listeners, at Take It or Leave It. Oh, I lost it. There it is.
Take it or leave it.
Take It or Leave It, presented by Fantasy Fade-Ball, the one and only Magic 8-Ball for fantasy football. 20 custom answers to help you make those critical start-sit decisions in the Sunday morning agony. Head over to fantasyfadeball.com. Use promo code HATEFUL8 for $5 off your purchase.
We're glad you found it.
Yes. I am as
I'm
well.
not going to lie. I could have used that fate ball at our draft this last weekend.
I like
could
my
have.
team.
Now, here's the thing. Before we get into this, we posed a question on Twitter for top 4 drafted currently, or were being drafted, I guess, depending on where your league is. Running backs are being drafted. So you had Gurley, Zeke, Bell, and David Johnson. And we said, given their current situations at this point, who do you feel is the most likely to not be a top 5 running back by year end because of certain things? So, like, Gurley was the addition of Brandon Cooks. Le'Veon Bell was the fact that he had been holding out all offseason, and there had been report of him maybe not being fully used in that first game. Then there's Zeke with the O-line issues and the whatever. There's not
Lack
really
of wide receiver.
Yeah. And then David Johnson was the new coaching staff and the new quarterbacks that are there. So, and it ended. It was over 1,000 votes, and Zeke was at 40, I think 43 or 44%. David Johnson, I think, was at like 24%, and Bell was at like 22 or 23%, something like that. So
I would side with them and say Zeke.
yeah, so Zeke was my vote. So
I don't
Mine
like the passing game there, and then you add the offensive line troubles with Frederick and Zach Martin. I mean, that's
That was a
not
staple
good.
of their team, too,
Right.
his
Yeah.
offensive line. So.
Right, and those are 2 interior guys. That's not good.
right, I was just surprised that Bell that anybody was within like 30-40% of Zeke. I really thought Zeke was going to be like in the 70-80%.
A lot of people question David Johnson because of Sam Bradford and his injury
Right.
proneness.
So we'll see.
I like David Johnson.
I did, too.
I like him as a player as well. So, all right. First question out the gate. Cornelius00 says, I was offered Travis Kelce and Stephon Diggs for Gronk. Should I make this trade? So he's giving up Gronk, and in return he would get Travis Kelce and Stephon Diggs.
Yes,
Yes.
I would. I love Gronk, but you can get Kelsey, who's not that far away, in my opinion, and then you add Diggs on top of that. That's great, especially if this is in a PPR league.
Always go for the 2-for-1.
Sure.
Right. I mean, Gronk is a top for sure tight end if healthy. Travis Kelce, we all agree he's a top 10 tight end this year, and Stephon Diggs is we'll say he's a wide receiver 1 this year potentially. So you got two top whatever position guys, top 12 in their position in return all you're giving up is a top 2 guy in his position. To me, that's a value of worth, in my opinion.
In the traditional 2-for-1s, you don't get 2 players you're going to probably start every week.
Right.
Potentially.
Well, you're swapping tight ends. I mean, you're getting Diggs back.
Yeah, you're canceling them out, and Diggs is the key here.
Right.
Right. I completely agree.
So-
I just can't believe it. The value on Gronk right there.
But if it had been somebody lesser, let's say if it would have been like, Travis Kelce and a wide receiver 2 or 3, like a Kelvin Benjamin or somebody like that, would you have still done it?
Would you have done
No.
it? Let's take out Diggs and put in his counterpart Thielen. Do you do the deal?
No. I want Gronk. Because you got Julian Edelman's not going to be there for the first 4 games, so
Right.
Gronk's going to get, loaded. I think Diggs is the guy to have in Minnesota this year.
Okay.
I love Thielen. We all know that. But I think he's going to take a step down this year.
I was just curious how far down. Because
Yeah.
Thielen's not going to – either way, I don't think he's going to drop that far.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think Diggs is the wide receiver to have in Minnesota. So you put that with Travis Kelce, and that puts me over Gronk.
Yeah. All right. 420 Wings with a Z says, will Falcons tight end Austin Hooper be a top 10 tight end this year? No.
That was quick. You didn't even think about that.
I didn't even
agree.
pause at the end.
I agree.
I'm going to say no.
Whoa.
No, not at all. So I'm on board. I would think that Njoku has a better chance of being a top 10 tight end than Austin Hooper.
Stealing my thunder. I agree with you.
And Joker, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So
Like we talked about off the show, there's too many options in Atlanta. You
Right.
got Sanu, Julio, Ridley, the 2 running backs. I mean, no, sorry, Hooper.
no. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Serviceable tight end, but
Definitely a stream play.
not top 10. I'd rather have Cameron Brate than Austin Hooper.
Ooh, even better. All right. Cam Man 92 says, would you rather have between Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr?
Cousins.
Cousins.
Yep.
Proven. He's
Derek
proven.
Carr.
Well, I like his offense better.
Right.
Cousins, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Gruden coaching Derek Carr, but I'm not 100% sold on Derek Carr so far. I've not seen anything impressive out of preseason for the times that he's been in there.
Well, Cooper's been up and down. You got Jordy Nelson, who's unknown, and then you got Martavius Bryant up and down. Yeah. You look at the options in Minnesota; they're loaded.
Give Carr like a year or two. It might be a little closer.
And their run game needs to step up.
Yep.
True. Hawk Up says, who is the better stash running back, Sony Michel or Matt Breida in a PPR format?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Only because Matt Breida, I don't even know if he's going to be the second. I mean, Alfred Morris looked great in their 3rd preseason game.
Yeah.
He was tearing it up.
Well, see, and like I said, what my point is with Michelle is, with Burrito, you need an injury for him to even sniff the field.
Right.
Michelle could just win it out
Yeah.
eventually once he's healthy.
Well, and if Burkhead gets hurt at all, it's Sonny Michelle and James White time.
Because it's always a revolving door in New England. Problem is, you got to know which guy to play that week. That's
Right.
the issue with.
Which nobody knows.
No, I still think the biggest thing for me, and I agree with all the points, is why I like Sony Michel over Matt Breida is because, like you, and kind of to piggyback off what you're saying, I think that if Sony Michel is healthy, I think they figure in a way to use him and Burkhead in the game in the same game, where I don't feel like Matt Breida is really going to get factored into the game with Jerick McKinnon. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a takeaway game where it's just a blowout and they're like, "Hey, come on, Matt, come on, go in,"
Well, I just think
while
Matt
Jerick
Breida's-
takes a break.
He's buried. I think if Jerick McKinnon, Matt Breida's not even going to come in second. Alfred Morris will be the second string.
I was say the fact that they brought in Alfred Morris tells me that they're not 100%.
And Morris has looked pretty good, actually.
Right.
So.
That game we watched on Game Pass, he was just tearing it up every time he got the ball.
I mean, he was falling forward for 5-6 yards on a continual basis. So to me, I think it speaks more that Matt Breida may not be the number 2 by season start versus Sony Michel, I think if healthy, is the number 2 there,
Right.
or even potentially 1 in New England. However you want to put 1A, 1B, because I don't think that they ever really have a solid number 1 running back. And then Pasta Dude 97.
My kind of guy.
I know that guy we had 420 wings made me hungry.
Right?
Want some roosters?
Right. Pasta Dude 97 says, who should I start week 1? Marshawn Lynch home versus the Rams or Peyton Barber at the Saints?
Lynch.
Yeah. To me, it's
I want to differ, but I can't.
no. It's got to be Marshawn because Peyton Barber. I'm not impressed with that offense in Tampa Bay.
No,
and you made the point as to with Winston being gone.
Yeah, no Winston for 4 games. They're going to run heavy probably, and then just stack the box.
Yep.
I understand Rams are a good defense, but I'd rather take Lynch at home against that than Peyton Barber.
Well, and I think Saints' offense is going to score so many points. They're going to be throwing the ball anyways.
Sure.
Barber's going to be taken out of the game plan.
Right.
I think that Gruden has made it a point to feed Marshawn Lynch every game.
Well, I think he's going to try to slow the game down.
He's going to do a lot of clock management, I feel.
Right.
Good.
That 1990s
That old school
NFL offense.
Like I said, Lynch could be a sneaky play this year.
True. And so, yeah, it'd be interesting. I know the defense. To me, the Rams' defense is better than the Saints' defense, but I just think that there's a lot more question marks around Peyton Barber and that
There's
Tampa
more
Bay
upside
offense.
with Lynch than
Yes.
Right.
Barber.
So, we'll see. All right, let's get into the final segment today. So we're talking about players that we are concerned now for 2018.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
I think they need to be very concerned.
I ain't worried about none.
I think they need to be very concerned.
All right, so players that we're concerned about for 2018, presented by StatRoute, dominate your league, Get the stats used by the pros, any stat, any player, any team, available in under 5 seconds. Head over to statroute.com. So players that we've mentioned that we're concerned about now, whether it's by injuries to themselves or players around them, or just in general, the performance of the offense has been horrible, or they've been horrible. So the first one that we kind of all agreed upon was, well, at least we agreed upon, was Thielen, I should say.
I'm on an island with this Minnesota.
You are. So the only reason, my concern with Thielen, and I mean, you can put your point in, is the fact that Diggs, it's been all about Diggs. The money is in Diggs' bank account compared to what, I mean, they paid them, but they both got signed. Diggs got the bigger deal, got in the bigger picture of where the money's going. Kirk Cousins has shown that he likes Stephon Diggs more volume-wise already, and that was the biggest thing that we talked about off the air was Thielen, what he made his mark last year was the fact that Case Keenum pretty much just continued to feed him all game, and Diggs was more the high upside touchdown guy, where now I feel like Thielen's going to be an average volume guy who's going to have to rely on making something out of 5-yard catches or 10-yard.
Yeah, he's going to have to get a lot of rack and touchdowns.
Yeah, that's just my biggest thing with him. And it's not that I don't think – I like Thielen. I think he's a talented player, and anybody who could come out of nowhere and play the games that he's played and been cut as many times as he's been cut to show up here and be as good as he was last year is no fluke. I just think that Case Keenum loved throwing the ball to him versus I think Kirk Cousins is going to throw the ball. As we talk, he's going to spread the ball around, but I think the person who's going to get the more volume percentage-wise is going to be Diggs. And if Thielen's not getting the volume, what is he?
Well, see, I think Diggs is the bigger play. He's got the high flying. He's going to be the down the field guy. He'll have way more touchdowns. I agree with all those points. I just think Thielen's volume is still going to be there. He's going to be the dink and dunk guy. He's going to be over the middle. He's going to be the guy you're looking for on third down to move the chain. I just think that's where Thielen's role is. He's going to be all yards and receptions.
Yeah.
He'll, the touchdowns could be the issue for him, dropping out of where I think he's still going to be a top wide receiver. But I don't know. It's still too early for me to just totally write him off.
I'm not writing him off. I like Thielen. I'm just saying where his ADP is right now, people are going a little bit overboard for him. And his production is not going to match where it was last year. That's my point. So you're drafting him kind of high for the production that you're going to get.
I mean, and most people are drafting him as their wide. Some people are drafting him as their wide. I've seen wide receiver one. Some
low
are
end wide receiver.
And I will
one.
and listen. And I say all this, and I will tell you in all the drafts where I got Thielen, he was not my wide receiver one. So.
Right.
I know.
So I'm just saying, that's just my concern in the way that the offense is looking and the way that's driving, and if they factor in Dalvin Cook into the pass game, which he was not there last year. And Rudolph, I think, is going to be factored in. I don't think he's going to be like a volume guy, but I think he's going to be a touchdown upside guy.
Red zone.
Yep.
I just think that if you've got Dalvin Cook running the ball and catching the ball, Latavius Murray running the ball, Adam Thielen's catching the ball, I mean, there's only so much volume to go around in that offense, in my opinion.
And Kirk spreads it.
Right.
So, I don't know.
We'll see. I'm not saying Thielen's not a good play, and if you got him, that's great. You're going to play him.
Right.
But I just think where people that have a ceiling, it's not going to be there this year. It's going to be a little bit lower.
I guess my ceiling for Thielen is, that rhymed, ceiling for Thielen is a top 15 wide receiver, where I think Diggs can be a top 8 wide receiver. I guess that's where I look at different.
I think we actually kind of agree then on that.
Okay.
I agree with you. I still think Diggs is the better play, but
Yeah.
I thought we were writing Thielen off.
No.
Like the talk is like,
Where he's,
No, I'm just
where
saying
people are
where his
even-
ADP is, it's
Right.
he's not going to be that production.
okay.
I mean, his ADP, well, last I looked, now I know it's some people are post-draft, fantasy drafts, but I mean, in general, people were drafting him, him and Diggs were going right about a pick or two between each other. And to me, that's not a good spot to be in.
Well, but they should be right there, though. I don't think Diggs is that much. The gap between them is not huge because, like you just said, the ball's going to be spread around.
Right.
So, I mean, if there's just a one go-to guy in the offense, that's when you get the big separation in these players. I think Diggs is the better player. I think Thielen's still maybe right at the end of a top 12 guy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us are writing off Thielen.
I got him 15 to 20-ish.
Yeah. I've got him somewhere. I think I've got him in the 13 to 15 range. So, one for me though, and I mean, you guys can agree or not. Eagles' offense in general is concerning to me now. The injuries are piling up. The question marks. You got Alshon Jeffrey. They've said he is done for 2 games. He won't be
At
back.
least.
At least. That's a minimal.
Well, I think they'd avoid putting him on the pup because that's 6 games.
Yes.
Right.
So they're doing what they did with Andrew Luck last year. Remember, they didn't put him on the pup. He'll
Hoping.
be back in week 4.
Right.
Week 4, week 12 season.
Yeah. So, and then you got Carson Wentz. Peter King from SI came out today saying that Carson Wentz may miss 2 games as well.
See? And now you got Foles in there.
Right.
Who's looked horrible.
Right.
Yeah, he got blasted. He's not 100%.
He's not 100%, and he's looked horrible in preseason. He's not looked like that
Jay
Super Bowl
Ajayi's
guy.
hurt.
Yep.
I mean, it's like
I think everyone on the offense has got some kind of injury.
Right. I mean, I'm just
except
telling
for
you.
the tight end.
Right. Zach Ertz is about the only one that I think that's healthy at the moment. So
At the moment. Breaking news, he just broke his leg or something.
right.
I don't wish that on Zach Ertz, by the way.
No.
I'm just saying the Eagles' offense in general, fantasy-wise, is very concerning. Even Zach Ertz is concerning to me because the biggest for upside, what we were thinking for Ertz was because whether you put in Wentz or you put in Foles, we saw both being successful with him being successful with both. I'm just saying
Both quarterbacks are hurt.
both quarterbacks are not, one's more hurt than the other, and the one that's going to potentially be your day one starter looked like trash all preseason. So
Hot garbage.
indeed. So I'm just concerned. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm concerned about the Eagles fantasy football players in general that you're drafting. All of
especially
them.
because they're all high.
Right.
I stayed away from them on purpose.
I did too.
I was gonna say I stayed away from those guys. I can't where they're being drafted and what the potential of them being missing games here and there. And
Philadelphia should have done what we said Bradford did. You know, he baby-proofed Bradford. We Bradford-proofed, and they should have done that to the whole locker room. Holy heck, the whole offense is down.
It's ridiculous.
well, what about? I mean, the Rams is the primary example. Sean McVay has not played any of the key starters this preseason at all. He's sat them all out for a reason, and I just think that. But the thing is, a lot of these guys are getting hurt in practice, or like Wentz is lingering from last year. That's something you can't.
Well, so is Jeffries.
Jeffries as well. So the only one that's been new is Foles got hurt in the preseason game, and Jay Ajayi got hurt in practice. But I mean, you're practicing regardless of however your preseason.
And you can't
game
help
goes.
the practice injuries, but I mean, preseason games you're going to have injuries.
Just saying, concerned is very concerned about the Eagles' offensive players. So, and this one, LaShawn McCoy, and it's not so much about the off the field concern; it's the on the field concern because, good gosh, that Bills offense is awful.
Hottest of the hottest garbage.
I mean, it's really cold there in Buffalo, but it's still a steaming hot pile of garbage there.
Yeah, I'm not
It's terrible.
Josh Allen's probably going to be your starter. They haven't officially announced it yet, but AJ McCarron's hurt, so it's going to be between Peterman and Josh Allen. I'm going to venture to say they're going to go with Josh Allen.
I'm going to say Josh Allen just because they know that Nathan Peterman's not shown anybody anything this preseason either, and they already know that he can throw interceptions like nobody. So why not?
If they don't list Josh Allen as a starter, because they don't want him to be killed out there on the offensive line.
Well,
so
that
they're
ought to
trying
tell
to
you.
save
But
him.
that ought to tell you right there.
Yeah.
Now, LaShawn McCoy is supposedly going to be ready to go week 1. That's fine. He's dealing with some sort of injury. I forget what exactly it is. But anyways, he's been dealing with it. But that offensive line is awful. They really don't have a solid passing game. And the quarterback situation is just a question mark. So
And they got mediocre. They got Corey Coleman and Kelvin Benjamin and Zay
Right.
Jones. I mean, it's,
What scares me about McCoy, he's all volume. That's the only reason why everyone wanted him.
Right.
And now he's got a lingering injury probably all year.
Right.
That scares
and
me.
trash offensive line. So as soon
Yeah.
as he gets tackled the wrong way, it's over.
Right. Now, I will say I still at this point, if you haven't had your fantasy drafts, I have no problem having LaShawn McCoy as my third running back. But as my first or second now, for sure was never my number 1 running back.
Right.
Was on the fence about being a number 2 running back. He is now a running back, my running back 3
Yeah,
on
so
any
if you-
roster I would draft.
So if you go wide receiver, and you're coming back and you're looking at LaShawn McCoy as your number 1 running back.
Look to who's ever to his right.
Better
it's not
hope, better
LaShawn
hope
McCoy.
it's a 3-point PPR league because you ain't getting anything
For
out of him.
injuries.
Yeah.
So, no, LaShawn McCoy is on the field. The Bills' offense in general is a concern, and that reflects poorly on LaShawn McCoy. Now, I'm not saying that he can't make something out of nothing. I'm just saying, given the fact that he's injured every, 2 plays, it seems like that offensive line was actually good last year. It's now horrible. I mean, I don't think that there's any team worse offensive line-wise than them. Like, they let 3 offensive key guys go,
Well,
and
one
they didn't
left.
bring any back.
But yeah,
So,
Traded one.
Traded one, whatever.
Cincinnati.
Pro Bowl.
So
That's the stupid part.
right. Now for me, I've got Kareem Hunt as a concern. Anybody else agree that it's a concern? He's a concern this year, where everybody thinks he's going to be.
I'm not going to say. I'm just going to put him in the same boat as Thielen.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to have the same production like he did last year, especially with Spencer Ware coming back.
Right.
So I agree with him. I have no more extra concern than what
Right.
we've already talked about, that Just we don't know what his role in this offense is going to be completely with Ware and now with Sammy Watkins.
He's still going to be a good play. He's still going to get drafted kind of early, second, third round, whatever. But I just don't get your hopes up because he's not going to overdo what he did last year.
No, he's not. I don't think if people are excited, like, oh, I got Kareem Hunt in the second round, or I got him at the end of the second or beginning of the third, depending on your draft or whatever. Don't be too overly excited. Like you're gonna get the Kareem Hunt last year, where he was just blowing it up. He finished in the top 5 as a running back. That's great.
Well, he fizzled out as the year went.
He disappeared. We were talking about that. He disappeared in the main part of your fantasy football season. He was gone for 5-6 weeks.
He started off real strong, and then he just kept it just fizzled every week.
I just think the defense is going to be horrible there in Kansas City. It's not going to be the staple like they've had for the past couple of years. Mahomes is going to have to throw the ball more, I feel like, and that's a potential as I've watched preseason games. I just think that and Spencer Ware being back, like we said, and he is an Andy Reid guy. Andy Reid has put his flag on the Spencer Ware camp saying he is my guy. I mean, they traded for him. I mean, he's been the guy.
Right.
He's been their guy. And if he's healthy, I think it might not be like a 50-50 split between him and Ware, but I do believe it'll be a 60-40 by season end.
Well, since Sammy Watkins came over, they've been using Albert Wilson too.
Right.
And
Albert Wilson.
What'd I say?
You said Albert Wilson. He's in Miami.
Well, crap.
I'm just saying they traded away Sharkhandrick.
And put one of these technical difficulties right here.
No, I'm just saying
3 minutes later
they got rid of they cut Sharkhandrick West.
Yeah,
and I think that tells me that they're going to run a 2-back set between Hunt and Ware and just let it ride.
Right. Well, I wouldn't be as concerned if you see what's going to happen in the red zone. That's where we really need to see if Spencer Ware is getting more carries or they're not even going to the running back. They're looking to pass. Yes, Hunt's value really is going to dip a little bit.
So,
yeah.
And then the last one we got to talk about is Doug Baldwin and Russell Wilson. So the Doug Baldwin side of it is the knee. Is it a concern? So is it a concern for you guys about his knee? Now the claim that I'll be 85% ready for the season.
To me, it's a concern
for a guy who's been healthy.
Right. It's your number one target.
Right, especially with his ADP still in the third round.
Right.
And that's a lot for. Now we have questionable, concerns about a knee.
Right. And I think this trickles into the Russell Wilson volume, or not volume, but what he's going to be potentially this season, because that was a big thing for all of us in the preseason and like pre-draft and all that, was that Russell Wilson was going to be all right because he got Doug Baldwin. Right. And then they pair well. They have like a connection like Aaron Rodgers had with Jordy. It's just they just know. And they're gonna find each other in the passing game. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Doesn't matter what the play breaks down. It's Doug Baldwin's gonna be there to take care of Russell Wilson. I just think that if Doug Baldwin's not 100%, with the knee issue. If it was like a hand or a shoulder, I might be a little bit more lenient on it. But the fact that it's a knee issue, that's something that's probably gonna linger all season. Mm-hmm. The offensive line has been so supposedly, in quote, better than it's ever been with Russell Wilson there. That's great. However,
I guess you can shine a turd. That's what that is.
Polished it, but it's still a turd. I know what you meant. You polish a turd. It's still a turd. But to me, the question mark with the run game, you have Carson, you have Rashad Penny, you have Nick Vanette, your tight end this year. Your best your best wide receiver that's healthy is Tyler Lockett, and that's not a dig on Tyler Lockett. He's just not a number one volume guy.
Right.
So who's Russell Wilson throwing the ball to? Because if Doug Baldwin's not 100% out there, is he really going to still try to force it to him, which could be potential interceptions? Or what are they going to do with the run game? Who are they running? Who are they throwing to in the red zone? And
they should have kept Paul Richardson.
Right.
I think they're real. Well, at the time, Doug Baldwin was healthy, so it's probably not a big to-do at the moment. But you let Jimmy Graham go, and you let Paul Richardson go, and now you replace him with Tyler Lockett and Nick Vanette.
Yep. And Navette could still be a really good play, but
right.
I do have concerns. But you know what? I will say I go back and forth with this. Is Russell Wilson is the one quarterback for fantasy purposes that always seems to still come out on top.
Make something out of nothing.
Right.
All the time.
So right now I'd still invest in him and not have as many concerns. But I will say all this adding up, I mean, he's not trending at least in the right direction.
It's going to take its toll eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. At this current moment, knowing that Doug Baldwin's not 100% and he's not even 90%, Do you move anybody ahead of Russell Wilson, and who you think end of the year projection-wise? I mean, because we all talked about Aaron Rodgers being agreed across the board number one. Now some of us have had guys like Deshaun Watson in there.
Oh, you mean Russell Wilson?
Yeah. Well, I meant like Aaron Rodgers was. We all agreed Aaron Rodgers was number one.
He's number one.
We've talked about Russell Wilson probably being. I think he was our consensus number two.
I think he was too.
Now we didn't all agree that he was number two, but
I would have to drop him down a little bit.
I was gonna say I think I might have to move him down 1 or 2 spots. He's still top 5 because, like you just said, he finds a way to get it done. But I just don't think he has as much upside as he did with Baldwin being healthy. Because we just thought that Baldwin and him were just going to throw the ball to Baldwin every day and all day.
And a healthy Rashad Penny would have changed it for me too.
Right. I just think that you got a lot of question marks. You got Rashad Penny's not 100%. You got Chris Carson's going to be the guy potentially, and I don't know. I'm just concerned that defense is going to be questionable this year.
It's not going to be the same Seattle D we've been used to for the last 5 years or so.
No, it's not the Legion of Boom anymore. So I'm just that's another concern with me. I just think there's a lot of question marks around Russell Wilson now. That how is he going to get it done? You know he's going to, because it's just what he does, and he finds a way to win games. He finds a way to just throw the ball a ton and score. It's just, is he now going to have to do it more with his legs? Are they going to ask him, hey,
I'm sure of that.
You're going to have to run the ball more with your legs. We're going to do some more zone reads. We're going to do a little bit more QB runs to get the ball moving because, hey, we're not moving the chains right now. Right. So we need you to kind of take the ball, tuck it in, and just run forward and hope that you get a first down for us because nobody's catching the ball out here. So I don't know. It's just a lot of concerns for players. And guys that we talked, we were excited about. The Eagles' offense we thought was going to be really good. We thought Thielen, who could still be good, but I'm just saying there's questions now. Kareem Hunt, I don't think any of us were ever really excited about Kareem Hunt this year.
I still got a feeling for Thielen, so I'm good.
That's good.
I like him, but I just don't. He's not going to come nowhere near where he was last year.
So, but anyways, all right, that's all we got for today. I want to tell you guys thanks again for tuning in to today's show, whether it's through the podcast or on YouTube. Please check out the site, thehateful8ff.com, where you can check out our articles. Now, I know articles have kind of gone off the grid for a week now, but the guys are taking their time. They're getting ready for week 1 is what they're doing now. So, because I talked to them today, and they're all preparing for the actual season. So they kind of decided that they want to focus towards getting you guys ready for your week 1 stuff. So
one week away.
Oh, can't wait.
I'm excited. College football starts this week, though. Officially tonight, actually. The Thursday night recording. So it is starting tonight. I don't know who's playing. But
UConn and UCF?
All right, the national championship national champions from last year, UCF.
Self-proclaimed.
They're true. Also, follow our personal accounts at jpickleTH8FF, at jblackburnTH8FF, and at ftrimTH8FF. Don't forget to join the average donation to support the show via our Patreon tab on the site, where you can get your draft help if you still need your draft help, or getting into now the season help as well. So, anything else?
No.
Nope.
All right. Well, we tell you guys thanks again, and well, man, the season's almost here. I can't believe it's almost like here.
I can't wait.
It's just
1 week, man. Next show, we're it.
I know, starting that in-season stuff. So, all right. Well, thanks again for being here this whole off season. I guess we'll dabble into the in-season stuff starting next week. So, all right. We'll see you guys next week.
There ain't no one like these three. You know you just heard Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli. Give the goods talking about nothing but fantasy football. Yeah, it's your year to dominate and to wear that ring. Prepare for the draft and dial in on your craft. Quarterback, the first round is a good choice, you ask? This guy's got first round pick, a favorite? Not so fast. He failed to tune in to Hateful Eight. He's a chump finishing last.